I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
I think that I am familiar with the fact that you are going to ignore this particular problem until it swims up and bites you on the ass.
What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law.
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, mother.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
When Kramer hears about this, the shit's gonna hit the fan.
It stinks.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Enough, I get the point.
So what's going on? Welcome to the JEFFMAN316 Pop Culture Reporter channel. I'm your host, as always, JEFFMAN316, and we're going to talk movies tonight. So hopefully this is broadcasting fine. I got an error during the beginning of the broadcast during all that, the clips that I have, and it kicked me off. So I'm hardwired in, so hopefully you guys can hear me. So I'm no clue why I had a problem. So it looks like we already got a few guys here. There's Doug, hey man. And then we got Royce, he's back. So appreciate that. Hey, just so you know, it says I did get your super chat, but they haven't deposited the money. So, but I've already bought some Dollar Tree movies. So I'll spend that later. But I've got a couple of announcements, including something that's cool about Doug there. But I wanted to go ahead and let you know about a couple other things. I'm going to share some a slideshow that that I created. It's only got a couple pictures there. The first thing you'll see is I've got a couple things going on, and because of that, I wanted to create a new logo. So here's the new logo you're going to start seeing pop up on a lot of my stuff. It's pretty simplistic. It's just my hockey mask, press reporter guy, and my name, and then the pop culture reporter. I thought it looked a little bit classier than some of the other stuff I've used. And one of the reasons that I'm using it is because of the next thing that I'll show you guys. This is one of the few announcements I've got, is that a group of people that I've been fortunate enough to talk to on Facebook have included me in what they call the Halloscream review series. And what that is a bunch of us, and I'll show you who, are going to participate in a series of the reviews of all the Halloween movies, all the way from the original one. And obviously we're all planning on going to see Halloween Ends in October. This isn't going to start until the end of July, but I thought they were gracious enough to include me in, since this is the first live stream I've done since then. I thought I'd let you guys know about it. But like I said, I gave them the new logo, so hopefully they'll include that on there. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the next slide. These are all the YouTubers that are going to be included. I'm up at the top. I replaced somebody that had to drop out. But we've got Bacon Pew Pew. We got Camp Blood Media. We got the Dark Ether Files podcast. We got Mega Movies. We got Good Real Hunting, Braden Timmons, sorry, and Fauci Cinema. And I've chatted with quite a few of those guys over the last couple months, if not a year, because a lot of us are in the same Facebook horror groups. But here's going to be, and I'll post about this later, don't you guys worry about it, but here's going to be right now the set schedule that we're going to go through. Starting the last week of July, basically once a week, we're going to post a review of each of the Halloween movies, like I said, from the original all the way up to the ends. And then we're all going to then do a ranking where we pick our favorite, favorites to the worst, and rank them from whichever way you want to call it, worst to best or best to worst. And then they're talking about maybe then doing one big gigantic YouTube stream where we all come on there and we talk about that ranking, and maybe they compile that list and make it to where you guys can see all the stuff that we've picked. So hopefully you guys that support me all the time, and anybody watching this video, obviously it records it for the future. Hopefully you guys can help support myself and all these other YouTubers you see on here by watching some of our reviews. Halloween, if you want to call it a series, I guess would be one of my favorite series of horror movies. Obviously my number one movie that I love is Jaws, but Halloween is my second favorite movie. And so it's probably a toss up between Halloween and Friday the 13th, of which series I like the best. If I'm really wanting to have a good time, I'll watch Friday the 13th sometimes, especially 6, 7, and 8. I don't know why I like those the most, but if I really want to watch a good horror movie, I watch the first couple Halloweens. Roy says, God, I hate Resurrection. You know, I do too. And ironically enough, I watched Resurrection here. It hadn't been that long ago. I will say there was a decent concept in Halloween by far I'm assuming you meant my favorite franchise. Well, good. So hopefully you'll support me at least, and if not, all the other guys that are going to participate. I'm really interested in see what we do, especially on this ranking there, because this series goes ups and down. It's like a roller coaster. You start out really good with the first 2 Halloween movies. And speaking of that, my topic here that I want you guys to maybe help with now or in the comments in the future are going to be worst horror movie sequels. So I think Halloween 2 obviously is pretty good because you had John Carpenter incorporating that in with the first one. And then everybody shits on Halloween 3 over the years when I grew up. And ironically enough, that's become one of my favorite Halloween movies. But obviously, we're going to talk about it, but it's going to be kind of hard to include that as far as the synopsis and Michael Myers and all that kind of stuff. It's about keeping the thread going. But I know a lot of people love Halloween 4. And I thought, like I said, I figured that this would be a good topic to start with because you guys might could help me talk through some of these. Like, is Halloween Resurrection really the worst Halloween sequel? Or if you included all these, would you say it's Halloween 2 from Rob Zombie? But I guess if you go with the original Michael Myers story, it probably is Resurrection. Halloween 5 is right up there with me, man. I don't really like Halloween 5 at all, but obviously the first 4 are really good. And what I was going to say was Halloween 4 gets a lot of love online, and I tried to watch that again recently. It's good. I think it's silly, some of the concepts in it, though. Everybody goes ape shit over that bandage mask that's on there, but I think it's kind of silly because he supposedly has been in the hospital for 10 years, and even if he's a burn victim, wouldn't the worst thing be to keep burns bandaged up for a decade? And then obviously in 5, when he gets unbandaged in front of Jamie, he has no burns on his face at all. They show the zoom in on his face with the tear on it. So there's a lot to talk about this series, a lot of ups and downs. So it'll be very interesting to see my reviews, what I like best, what I hate about it versus all those other guys. So hopefully you guys can come and support us. Well, like I said, at least me. So look out for that. It's about a month and a half before we'll start. And like I said, we're going to try to do at least one review every week. Some of these guys have been way more involved in YouTube videos other than me. So they may be more creative with some of their movies. I have no problem with Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Not a big fan of Part 6 and that Thorn crap. Yeah, I thought that was a bit silly. I hope they don't go anywhere near that kind of shit for Halloween Ends to do something silly about introducing some bogus storyline like that. Which version of Halloween 2 do you like? Do you like the theatrical? Because I remember going to the theater and seeing it and coming out and being a little confused about what was going on. Then I got the video and it turned out to be the director's cut. And it was totally different in some scenes. And I really had to do a search at the time to find the theatrical cut again. And luckily I was able to find it, I think at Kmart at the time. And that there is no Kmart even in existence anymore. But the theatrical cut to me, at first I thought it was better, and then now I'm kind of going back and forth of which one's better. But most people say Resurrection is the worst. I wonder if you eliminated Busta Rhymes from that and had like a legit, like, not obviously not Dr. Loomis because he was too old and obviously he was passed away by then. But I mean, that type of character. But no, somebody like a, like a legit police presence or like a Tom Atkins maybe type of role where they could come in and not be try to connect with the youth. But also another issue I had with it was the footage that they supposedly used, like the handheld cameras. You could tell that they stretched it to fit the aspect ratio of the movie itself, and it looks totally dumb. The concept, the core concept there was not that bad. And there's actually a couple scenes in it that I do like. The Michael Myers mask. I'm not sure I like what they did with Laurie at the beginning, but I'm going to go back and watch all these again. I honestly enjoyed the Rob Zombie Halloween, Doug said. Yeah, so did I. But before we get too far off on a tangent, I'll go ahead and so I can get it recorded. I told Doug I would record this. I'm going to break this one up probably and do a couple of them, that announcement there on one video. And then I'll also do a another one to show. Doug was actually the winner of my movie contest I did with this Evil Dead extended cut. I released that video today of my top 5 horror remakes of all time, and this was number 1. And you guys probably figured that from the way I was talking it up in the last live stream. But Doug did the comments that I wanted on there, and he was the first one to do it. And so he wins this, and I'll be getting with him later so I can get that to him. So appreciate your consistent support there. Thanks for coming back and watching that video and winning. Hopefully you enjoy that if you haven't seen the extended cut. But so like I said, drop that. So I figured one of the things I was thinking of after that last discussion that I had with everybody was, what are the worst horror sequels? I've got some good remakes. And maybe I should talk about the best sequels, but I had that in my mind. So I thought maybe I would do that as the next topic. The comedy was horrible. Busta Rhymes made him look like a bitch. I have a hard time watching and I get angry just thinking about it. My least favorite horror movie ever made. Man, that's a damn stretch there, saying it's your least favorite. Maybe, I don't know. I will say I agree. The one scene that pisses me off is the one where he is Busta Rhymes legit pushes, or does he punch him or just push him away, Michael Myers, and basically treats him like a bitch and tells him to get the hell out of there. There's no way that Michael would have taken that from anybody. He legit would have probably just slit his throat or ripped his damn head off with the mask still on it. It was ridiculous the way he did that. The worst, in my opinion, was Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Well, I'm talking about actual legit sequels is what I want to do. Yeah, obviously that's the worst. But as far as the next video I'm probably going to do, is I'm really thinking about doing the worst horror sequels of all time. Yeah, I hate that movie. Yeah, I think we all do. So I've got a few ideas, and for the few of you guys that are here, I'll run them by. I'm probably not going to be able to be on as long as we did last time, so I appreciate you guys stopping by anyway. See, you guys are my number 1 fans there. I got my other device. I was looking back. I forgot this. Did you guys even know that there was a Creepshow 3? I looked back through my DVDs and I actually found it. I didn't even know that I had it. So, yeah, Creepshow 3 is probably pretty high on that list as far as worst horror sequels of all time. But I was looking through Film Threat. I used to get that magazine, so I bookmarked their site a lot, and they actually had an article about worst horror sequels of all time. King Kong Lives is on their list. I own that. I haven't watched that probably in 10 years or longer. So I need to check that out again, but to see if it really is as bad as I remember. But I do agree with this one here. Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. Have either you guys seen that? Literally what they did was, I think that's the one where they literally take like half of or at least a third of the original Silent Night, Deadly Night and have it replayed during the movie as the killer, I think, is talking to his therapist or whatever and talking about it. Yeah, I've seen it. Not very good. Yeah. Most of these ones I'm talking about are not going to be very good. You'd have to be like a true fan to like some of these movies. But yeah, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 is awful. And like I said, part of mostly is because it's just the first movie shown all over again. So that might be on my list. That's the one, if you've seen that quote where they're like, garbage day. So I'll have to put that in the intro with that one if I do it. There's a Birds 2, Land's End. I forgot about that. I love Alfred Hitchcock, so I like Psycho. I think my top 3 of his are probably Psycho, Rear Window, and maybe The Birds. I'm not sure, but The Birds 2, I don't even know if I've seen that. So if either of you guys seen The Birds 2? I don't know. I think it might be a TV movie. Then there's the Omen sequels. They got multiple ones of those on there. So I haven't watched the Omen movies in years, so I don't know if I could include that. And then they got a couple of the Amityville horror movies. I was sitting here thinking, well, a lot of that stuff is really old. Is there any really bad sequels amongst the main horror staple movies? So Roy said The Birds is amazing. Yeah, the first Birds is amazing. I bet that one is hot garbage, as I say. I like all the Omens, but not the remake. So they had part 3 and 4, I think, on this list. So have you seen parts 3 and 4? Obviously, I've seen them, but it's been so many years I really can't remember anything about the Omen 3 or 4. So maybe I'll have to go back and check those out. I did end up picking up cheap I think I got it used, the Shout Factory set, and I watched it when I bought it, but that's been a while and I don't remember much about those at all. But I was looking over here at my shelf. The Purge. What's the worst one of the Purge movies? He's grown in part 3. So like a fully grown, like adult man in part 3. Well, that's kind of weird, I guess. What about part 4? What happens in part 4? Troll 2 is horrible, but in the best, most entertaining way. Yeah, and that's why I don't think I would include Troll 2 on my list, because if it at least entertains, makes you laugh, or there's something at least worthy about it, I'm not going to include it. These are movies that I would really have a hard time sitting down wanting to watch. And the only way I would watch maybe like Halloween Resurrection again anytime soon would be because of that review series. Yeah, he said, yep. So like, have you guys seen all the Purge movies? Like, what is your worst Purge movie? I was trying to think through those. The worst sequel of all time is Sleepaway Camp 4: The Survivor. Yeah, I've got that old Anchor Bay box set that's got the what is it? The Red Cross symbol on the front that ended up turning into being worth a lot of money. And I think I've got the first 2 Sleepaway Camps from Shout on Blu-ray. And then I've got that box set that's got the other ones in it. And I was going to sell that when I got the Shout Factory releases, but then it turned out to be quite a bit of money. So I held on to it for a little while. But to go back to what I was saying, I really think I want to include some contemporary stuff as far as the worst horror movie sequels. So I don't know, are the Purge movies? I love the first 3. What is the one that's called The First Purge? I hate that one. I went to see the last one. What was that Purge movie called? The very last one. The Forever Purge. That wasn't that bad. I kind of liked it. I know a lot of people was talking about it being like woke politically, but I didn't really care about that. I mean, I thought they did a decent job with the Purge concept. But I'll just tell you one of the ones, as far as me personally, disappointment wise, is hated number 3. You didn't like The Purge, the third one? Which one was the third one? So many damn Purge movies, I don't remember. I think they're making another one. Purge. So you had Purge Anarchy was the second one. I liked that one a lot. And Purge Election Year was the third one. I didn't care much for it, but I like Frank Grillo. I thought he was really good in there. So I don't know that I could call that one. I still think the first Purge, to me, is the worst one of the lot. Either way. But what I was talking about is looking back over those movies, the movie that was the most disappointing to me over the last, I don't know when it was made, so let's just say probably a decade, was Sinister Part 2. Because the first Sinister is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. And everything that was good about Sinister, they shit on it in the second one. It's like they forgot everything that was good that they did. The creature, the demon, whatever he was, Bagul, everything that made him cool, the concept of how they did the tapes and how they linked all of the different killings together, everything that was good about it. I love the fact that they tried to bring the Deputy So-and-so character back, and he would have been good if they had a good story that even tried to take any concept from the first one and continue it. It had I forget the actress's name, but the one who played the mother, she was good. And those two damn kids got on my nerves. So yeah, they should have kept it in the found footage format. Yeah, I agree. A Nightmare on Elm Street, The Dream Child, trash. Which one is that? Is that number 5? Because more than likely, that's probably, I agree, that's the worst of Nightmare on Elm Street movie. But speaking of that, do you like Nightmare on Elm Street 2? What do you think about the second one? Yeah, Dream Child is number 5. That's the one I didn't like. I went to the theater to see that back in the day. Leprechaun Origins, trash. Yeah, what did you think about Leprechaun Returns? I actually reviewed Leprechaun Returns on the channel, and I think it's not great, but if you compare it to Leprechaun Origins, it ends up being like a damn Oscar masterpiece. Leprechaun Back to the Hood, pretty much trash. I do like the first 3 Leprechauns though. They're not that bad. But if you're talking about worst of all time, yeah, Leprechaun Origins is pretty close to the top. I don't know if you know that the wrestler Hornswoggle was the one that actually played the Leprechaun character in there. I haven't finished watching it yet. Okay. Well, like I said, it's not great, so don't go into it thinking that I'm saying that it's really good, but it took all the core concepts of the first couple of Leprechaun movies. They would have been awesome if they could have got Warwick Davis back. Obviously they couldn't. They tried to play up on that character and like keep it going as far as in that vein. So I thought it was good. Yeah, and it had no comedy at all. Yeah, they tried to, for some reason, they tried to make it like straight up horror, and like it didn't work at any level. If you had not called it Leprechaun, because I don't even think it looked like a leprechaun. If you didn't call it Leprechaun, maybe it was something else. It could have worked as a B-rated horror movie, like from that Sterling Entertainment type shit, like the guy that I interviewed on the channel. I don't mean to ramble or whatever. I know we're talking about that, but I don't know. You remember last week I was telling you guys, just so I don't forget, this independent movie that I watched, Masquerade. It's got Olivia Disney and Aaron Ray are the main 2 actors in it. This movie is a micro budget independent movie. I'll try to support movies at all levels. This movie is amazing as far as I know the guy who made it, talked to him online, and this actress, Olivia Disney, if she doesn't become a legit horror movie actress, I don't know why. I mean, she's really good in there for the budget and the script and everything that they got going. So when this is available streaming, I supported it, so they sent me the YouTube link. When this is available for stream, I'm going to post a video about it. I want you guys to support this. It's only like 40 minutes, so it's no reason that people shouldn't watch this. I think it's a pretty awesome movie. So, all right, so back to the topic. I was trying to think, like I said, did you guys see Sinister? And if you do you agree with my synopsis of that and what makes it like so awful compared to the first one? Because for some reason, man, I don't know, like that first Sinister, I tend to watch that in the background. At least, I've watched it a couple times already this year. It's I just thought the concept of the demon, the way that it worked with the old films, everything about it was unique, and I hadn't seen anything like that in a while. So I thought it was kind of cool. But yeah, so what about, let's go back to the original like series of movies like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Are you guys like everyone else, and do you consider Texas Chainsaw Massacre, then is it the next generation, what they call it, to be the worst of those? I'm pretty sure, but I don't know, man. That I'm so disappointed in that Netflix Texas Chainsaw Massacre that came out this year. That some of those things could all be one big batch and just be like the worst movies ever. After I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre too. There's a lot to like in that, and it's a more of a dark comedy type of. But I like the first two, and then I love, if you watch that horror remake. Obviously, I love the one with Jessica Biel in it, the remake of that. And then I like the prequel, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning. So there's some good Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, and there's some bad. I really do need to go back and watch the one with Matthew McConaughey in it to see is that one as bad as Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Next Generation. Was that the one he's in? What's the one? It's Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1, 2. Then is it Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, Leatherface? Then it's the Next Generation. Is there one after that before they rebooted it? You loved it? Really? Oh my goodness. I'm not saying it's the worst movie ever. So like I said, I'm not going to put that on my worst horror. I didn't like it at all. It's the same. Yeah, part boring. Yeah, 4 is the one with Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, and like you said, 3 is boring. It is. And I mean, nothing happens. I mean, they waste some characters because I think in that one that's got the guy from the original Dawn of the Dead. The most gore of any Netflix original. Well, yeah, I give you that, but I don't know, man. The story was garbage. There's no that group of young people, unless they're the most ignorant people on the face of the planet. You go into a town and you buy it. It's in the middle of nowhere, so you're going to have to build it up because there's going to be very hard to get any supplies or anybody traveling in and out of there. So then, when you build it up, I mean, what is the plan there? I mean, to me, it was like we can't go out. We don't have enough money to film, so we're going to go overseas. We're going to find this one little area, this street, and we're going to film there, and we're going to write the story around that of why we got stuck here and couldn't figure out how to get, anywhere outside of those few buildings and anywhere. I don't know. If part 4 wasn't called Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it would be much better. Matthew went totally berserk. One of my favorite roles. Yeah, I love it when he starts going crazy, especially with the remote in his leg and shit at the end. And Doug says he loved 1 and 2. Yeah, I love 1 and 2 as well. But I apologize, man. Obviously, everybody has their own opinion. I just cannot get past that Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I guess maybe what happened was the Netflix was. I was so looking forward to it, and then it debuted overseas. And if you go back and look at my channel, I watched somebody do a stream that basically went over the plot of what they saw, and when it did. I don't know what do they call it? It was like a test screening or something. And they said the plot was so bad that they don't think that they wanted to release it in theaters here in the US. It got shit on so bad. So they changed the ending a little bit. And then everybody figured that maybe they would rewrite some of it or whatever. And then they brought it over here and they didn't think they could get it distributed. So they went ahead and had Netflix bought it. Was trying too hard to be woke. He kicked so much ass on the school bus. Yeah, I know that bus scene is like basically, if you watch my review, I say it's not as bad as people say it is. I mean, a lot of people say it's the worst Texas Chainsaw Massacre, if not the worst horror movie that was released in the last year. It's not. But dude, I can't care for any of those characters. It's one of the first movies. I want everybody in there, other than maybe the one sister who had the backstory where she was in a school shooting or whatever. And see, I don't even know if they make that now with everything going on in the world. But either way, they should have built up that plot point more, made you feel a little more sorry for her. But other than her, I was waiting. I wanted everybody else in this movie to get them chainsawed in half. I hated every character in it. They were all assholes. I just could not, I don't know. I just couldn't get into it at all. They shouldn't have brought that woman back. They were trying too hard to be. Yeah, because they wasted her. They did nothing with her. Even I know the original actress was played Sally Hardesty was dead, but you're going to bring back an iconic legacy characters like that, and I think that was another reason I got pissed off. Is then you're going to treat her like that? Come on now. And then you basically saw her in half, and like 10 minutes later, she's still alive. I just think the writing was so poor that I was looking so forward to a good Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie that after like some of the disappointing things that we had seen in the past, that maybe I was like overhyped it in my mind. And hoping that because the test screening got such bad results that they would then go back and rewrite some of it, and they didn't. Leatherface would have been 73 years old. Yeah, I do think that they tried to weasel him down to where he would have been late 60s or something. I know that they probably didn't play him up to be 73, but yeah, I don't think he would have been getting around too much with all the damage that he had. Well, I guess they did. This one was supposed to be a direct sequel to the original, right? So he wouldn't have had any of the damage that he had from any of the other movies. But still, also the fact that the one of the things that bothered me was he hid the chainsaw. He had to have hidden it in that house years ago because they plastered over it and put up a wall over it for him to bust through it or whatever, or he put it in there and sealed it up. There's no way, just like in The Walking Dead with the gasoline issues there is no way that damn chainsaw would have cranked after all those years of it being hidden in the wall. So, I mean, as my son tells me, I think too much. Maybe I'm thinking too much about it. Back to the worst sequel, I think Hostel 3 was ass. Yeah, it was pretty bad. That was the one that was in Las Vegas, right? Yeah, was it Creepshow 3 bad though? I'm trying to remember. I guess I need to go back and watch Creepshow 3 to see. But you guys already know if I do top 5, number 1, I don't know what number 1 will be, but one of the top 5 is going to be that Sinister movie. And it probably I like a little bit too much of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Netflix movie to include that in the worst sequels ever. But yeah, that Leprechaun Origins might have to be on there. Thanks for reminding me of that one. Speaking of Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, I think I know what the worst one of that would be. The worst sequel was actually Leatherface, where he was a kid. Did you see that one? That one had no redeeming qualities whatsoever. And then they tried to switch it up in there and confuse you with who really was Leatherface and who wasn't. So that was a total wasted opportunity in itself. So that movie was hot garbage, as I say. But yeah, I guess I need to go back. I think I own Hostel 3 on DVD, or maybe I got it streaming. I'll have to go back and check. Yeah, you aren't missing a whole lot with Creepshow 3. To me, it was like, hey, we got an anthology movie, and we're going to just throw Creepshow in front of it. And then they tried this tired-ass animation, I think, is the one I'm thinking of at the beginning, where you don't even get the creeper or whatever you want to call them and anything. If you're going to watch Creepshow after the first 2, go back and watch the Shudder series. There's some really good episodes of that one. One of my favorites, the Christmas one, and I did review that on the channel. If you guys haven't watched that, check it out. So I think I'm sticking with my guns. Now they got to do all these reviews with these guys on that Howler Scream. I think I'm going to drop off on a lot of the toy stuff on the channel. And unless it's something like this, I was going to be funny and let you know. Speaking of sequels, I may open some of these Mego figures I got because they are movie related. I got some clearance ones at Walmart. Speaking of bad movie sequels, what about Candyman, Farewell to the Flesh? The figure is cooler than the damn movie. So I like that figure there. They even gave him the hook, obviously. Got blood on it. I like Mego. They don't censor their figures. One of the other movie ones I got is Scary Stories. Scarecrow, but either way. So yeah, what about Candyman? Do you consider that reboot that they just did that's kind of a sequel. It's got a legacy characters in it. It isn't as bad as everybody said it was, but I guess I need to go back and watch Candyman. What about this one? Candyman, Day of the Dead. Which one is the worst? Is Farewell to the Flesh worst or Day of the Dead? I watched that. It's pretty damn bad. So I don't know. But I haven't watched Farewell to the Flesh in a long time. I don't know if you guys have seen. So have you guys seen any of the Candyman movies? So we talked about Halloween, probably Resurrection, as we're all in agreement that's bad. We're talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm thinking Leatherface, the one when he's a kid's the worst. Nightmare on Elm Street, you guys said 5. If I'm going by me, the most disappointing Nightmare on Elm Street one might have been 2. Because after the first one, I was like, holy shit, that was one of the first ones that I bootlegged. Don't tell anybody. I bootlegged it on VHS, and I remember going over to my friend's house like on a Friday night late and watching it. So A Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is really disappointing to me. It's got a couple good scenes in it, but it's like they forgot all of the cool concepts from the original movie that made Freddy what he was. And then they said, forget this nonsense, and went ahead and made Nightmare on Elm Street 3, which made up for that one. Yeah, he was creepy in 2, and I like that part where he rips the top of his head off and shows his brain. But everything else about that movie is pretty much hot garbage. People should like it today because everybody all made fun of it because of the main character, and I'm not going to go down that path. But I don't have a problem with that. But I just didn't like it. Thought the acting was bad. The story was not that good. But I think I agree with you guys. Like part 5, The Dream Child, was really bad. So then what about Friday the 13th? Which Friday the 13th sequel do you think is the worst? Mine's going to be Jason Goes to Hell. I hate that movie. It's got a couple good scenes in it. They tried to cram so much new history about Jason into that movie to get all those extra characters in there. Creighton Duke is a good character, but they cram all that shit in there about the Necronomicon, about his family being involved, having to be, having him reborn through the bloodline. Part 8. Yeah, I was telling the guys earlier, if you weren't here, appreciate you coming by, stopping by, and chatting. I've got a fondness for some reason for part 6, 7, and 8. 6 was the first one I saw in theaters. 7, I love 7 other than the ending. The ending is bad. But other than that, everything about 7 with Kane Hodder and that the weapons he has in there and all of the things she does to him at the end. I love that movie. I just hate the ending of it. I wish they had done something better. I can watch any of them anytime. They're all so fun. They are, but I just get so pissed off at number 9 for blowing him up at the beginning. It's got a really good opening scene. It's so stupid showing him walk around, and in the reflections you see Jason, even though you don't actually see him in the movie until the end. And then another part, I can't get over those gigantic hands that come up and grab him out of the ground and bring him down to hell. I remember in the theater when I was watching it going, this movie is bad. And then they had to throw the Freddy Krueger hand coming up in there at the end to keep the rest of us interested in maybe continuing the series. A lot of people think that part 10, Jason X, is worse than that one. I don't agree. I actually think Jason X is a lot of fun. If you give it a chance, I love the holodeck, whatever you want to call that scene. So I'm like Royce, where he goes, I can watch any of them anytime. They're all fun. I think that's why I was saying, I think Friday the 13th is one of those series where even though some of the movies are bad, I can watch them a lot and have fun with them, as opposed to some of the Halloweens are really hard to get through. Yeah, I love Jason X, some great kills. Yeah, it is. An Amazing Mass and Jason X. Yeah, I love the concept of that. The nanobots reforming his body out of the metal. I mean, it's more actually that's kind of sci-fi, but I really like Jason X, man. I mean, I know it's cheesy, but it's supposed to be. It's got David Cronenberg at the beginning of it. I like the fact that they kept Kane Hodder in the role. I really wish that he had been able to be in Freddy versus Jason. That would have been pretty iconic. Him and I know one guy that I chat with a lot online says that he hates Kane Hodder's version of Jason because he does that heavy breathing, like when he gets pissed, and he's like he's dead. He shouldn't breathe at all. And I was like, dude, quit picking at the littlest shit. I mean, maybe it's muscle memory. Maybe in his mind that's what he did when he was pissed off when he was a human. But either way, I like part 10, and like I said, I think 9 is going to be mine. Just because of all that Jason mythology, if that's what you want to call it, that they tried to throw in there. The slug creature going inside the woman. I don't want to get too graphic on here. Being reborn. That the whole concept of that movie was stupid. It's almost like they tried to, like I said, cram multiple movies in one movie just to try to make it more fun or just to do something different. I don't know. I just can't stand that one. So we've covered most of the main ones. What about the Living Dead movies? As far as like Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, which one of those movies would you guys say is the worst one a lot? It got pretty bad there toward the end, like Diary of the Dead. Survival of the Dead might be my least favorite. Or wait a minute, and if you're going to call it the original Romero ones, but then they did remake some of them. But so I'm actually talking sequels, so I'm not going to go down that line and talk about the Day of the Dead 2 that they made. Yeah, Seed of Chucky. I forgot about that one. That is pretty damn bad. I actually like the Chucky TV series, just to mention that, by the way. But yeah, the Seed of Chucky is one of the worst horror sequels of all time. Thanks for reminding me of that one. I'm going to make a note. That might end up on my list. If I do these worst horror sequels of all time. What about the Poltergeist movies? I made myself a note of that. Poltergeist 3 is pretty damn bad. Seed of Chucky. Oh God, I don't know that I'm going to go back and watch these ones that we're considering worst horror sequels of all time. That might be too hard to make myself go through. Remember, I already got to watch Halloween Resurrection here in the next couple weeks to a month when I go do all those reviews. So who else is on here? We got 3, it says 4. I know I got Royce and I got Doug. Who else is still on here with us? Name some of the worst horror movie sequels of all time, or at least some of the more recent ones. We've already went through a lot of the main series of films. Anybody else that's on here, give me your opinion. Like, let me know what you think is the worst horror movie sequel of all time. Because I think it'd be a fun video to make. I really liked that video that I made. You guys watched that? I know Doug did because he won the prize. I started to think I shouldn't have put the chapter markers in there because I did say something about the giveaway. I'm new to this YouTube stuff, some of the videos, so it was that people would have been easily able to skip to the end and actually just watch the giveaway part, which was like goes against the concept of what I was trying to do. But so yeah. But like I said, I think I did do a review that I'm in the middle of editing, just so you guys know, of Happy Death Day. I watched that. The quality of the 4K transfer of that was really good. It looked good, and that's a fun movie to watch. Yeah, I was going to wait and see if you were going to mention that one, Royce. Since Jaws is my favorite movie, I was kind of not hesitant to mention it, but yeah, Jaws: The Revenge is pretty damn bad. Do you know the story behind the book? As far as like why the shark had the revenge concept around it, I think it was to do with voodoo magic and stuff. And then when they made the movie, they cut all that stuff out of there. VHS viral. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Hey, the new VHS movie is the Shutter one is actually way better than that one. So they did a good job. I didn't hate any of the VHS movies though, where I would consider them like worst. I think they all had at least one story within the anthology that I liked. So I don't know that I could say VHS Viral is one of the worst of all times, but yeah, Jaws the Revenge is pretty damn bad. But I will tell you this, I got a 3D version of Jaws 3, and I forgive that movie a little bit now that I'm actually able to watch it in 3D. I think it loses some of the stink off of it when you were able to watch it in 3D. I like the new one, so much gore in the new one. Yeah, the new one was good. Actually, to me, the story, the very first story, is the best one. And then the one where the guy was replacing the human parts with robot parts was really good. I agree. VHS Viral sucked. Did it? What was the main stories of that one? Could you guys remember? VHS Viral. I don't remember much about that one. Maybe I got to stick that in there. Maybe that is one of the bad ones that I got to go back and watch. Vicious Circles. That's the one where the girl was the boyfriend was filming her. Dante the Great. I remember that one. That was the Magician. Yeah, that did suck. Parallel Monsters. Hey, that interdimensional portal one is the one. I think that's the story I kind of liked. Yeah, I remember the rest of it was basically garbage. But I like that one story. I like that one where that guy went and met himself and swapped places. I thought that one wasn't that bad. But as you can see, I try to find something good in all movies that I watch, because now that I've talked to a lot of independent horror makers, not a lot, but a few online, and I know Peter Anthony, of Peter Anthony Productions. I've watched some of the fan films and the amount of effort that they put in. And then I watched that movie Found, and after I found out online that I think that they made that one with just like a $10,000 budget. When you start seeing the effort that filmmakers put in, if you can look and see somewhere in the movie that's got a redeeming quality, whether it's the cinematography or the writing or a character, or like in that VHS Viral one, a story, the effort that they put in, it's kind of hard to shit on a movie. So I'm going to be really, you should do a show on the best and worst Dollar Tree horror movie. Dude, it's like 3/4 of them are bad, but are you going to review them are they worth $1.25? Yeah, it's hard to find. I mean, I sold some at my yard sale 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I made some money back on the ones that I thought were really bad. But every movie that I've bought at the Dollar Tree has been worth $1.25 to at least skim through and watch. But as you can see, like I said, I try to make a positive out of anything if I know there's some effort there. If it's just a straight up money grab, maybe not. Sleeping Collectibles. Hey guys, hey, I appreciate you stopping by. I hadn't seen you guys. I've seen you before. I've only done a couple of these live streams. I'm just starting out, but I really appreciate you coming by, man. I've been busy at work. I wasn't able to stop by your last one, but I really appreciate you coming by. Hobo with the Shotgun on Blue was worth $10. Hobo with a Shotgun is really good. That movie definitely, anybody that finds a copy of that at the Dollar Tree, you need to pick it up, whether it's on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. That's a pretty excellent movie. So yeah, it's a good choice. But I agree. Hobo with a Shotgun is underrated. Yeah, like I said, I think I've seen that in almost every Dollar Tree that I've been to in the last couple months since I've been doing those Dollar Tree hunts. That's anytime I see movies like that, like that's how I was telling, I think, Doug about that movie Found, that I found, ironically enough, at Big Lots for $3. That movie is definitely worth $3. And when you see the amount of effort they put in there with like a $10,000 budget, I bought a copy of Dollar Tree. Yep, that's where I got mine. Somebody recommended me that movie, that Hobo with a Shotgun, a long time before I ever saw it. And as soon as I saw it in there, I scooped it up. And I think it might have been in the horror pack before I was a subscriber. Found is great. Yeah, I love Found. I mean, I every time if I do a Big Lots hunt or something like that, and I go in there, you guys will see me. I will. Anytime I pick it up, I want more people to know about that movie, because a lot of people probably don't like it just because of the content, and then it does have that one little couple sections in there that's got some racism in it that I don't like. And a lot of people might be turned off about that these days, but if you can overlook that and see, read a little history of the movie of what they went into it and how little that they spent making it. And I think you'll respect it. So like I was telling you guys earlier, I don't know if Sleepy heard me say that. I try to find redeeming qualities in almost every movie that I watch. And then it's really hard. The ones I want to call worst is when I have like really high expectations, or it's got a really high budget, or there's no reason that they should not have made a good movie. And those are the ones that kind of tick me off and I call the worst. I bought a copy of Spree too. That movie was good. Yeah. Spree is one of the ones, it stars, I forget the actor's name, the one that's in Stranger Things. Speaking of Stranger Things, did you guys finish up season 4 yet? That's pretty good. But yeah, Spree is really good. So earlier, Royce was talking about I should do a series of best and worst Dollar Tree horror movies. Maybe the best Dollar Tree ones. Maybe I should do that. Like once a month, I'll pick through all the movies that I bought and watched from Dollar Tree, and then I'll do a series and just let you know the top 10 that I think are the best or the worth your dollar. Because I do show you guys the ones I buy. Yeah, Spree was cool. It was. I liked it. Joe, yeah, we are on episode 5, almost done. Yeah, it's really good. The only negative I had with this season was I think they stretched it out a little bit too much. That story with what's going on with 11 probably didn't need to last as long as it did, but I did like the concept of how they've got the 3 stories going all at once and bouncing back and forth to kind of keep it interesting. I don't like how they did it in some of the other seasons where one episode might be like a key, as far as a key in on like one plot point. I like how they spread it through. Dollface was a horrible Dollar Tree movie. The leading actress never spoke a word. Actually, that's one of the ones I don't think I've watched. It's in my pile of things to watch. Those Echo Bridge movies are pretty bad. I mean, I have to watch more Stranger Things. You guys are great. I'm only 60 subs from 5,000 and I'm climbing up. Happy to have you on board, Jeff, man. No problem, man. I've supported you for quite a while. I don't get to go into the live streams as much because of me creating content and just work but I really appreciate your support and thanks for coming by, man. Yeah, so back to what you were talking about, Royce, those Dollface movies, that Dollface movie, those Echo Bridge movies, I've picked up a couple in Walmart for like $15 like last year that weren't terrible. But now that I know that you probably 6 months later, those damn things are going to be in the Dollar Tree, I won't pick up another Echo Bridge title ever again after that. But there's been a couple of them that have not been bad. But how do you rank them? Like when I say best, would you think that I should say which movies are the best for $1.25? Or just best overall? Because there's not a lot of them that are best overall when you compare them to, like Evil Dead or even like a Candyman or anything like that. But either way, well, I appreciate you guys mentioning some of these other movies that I hadn't thought of. Yeah, I'm gonna have to split 2 here in a minute. I'll definitely come back and watch the rest. Thank you, appreciate it. I'll look up on Instagram to see if I've got your address, and if I do. If I don't, I'll contact you either way and let you know. So congratulations. Appreciate your support. And thanks for watching my video and winning that. Doug, I can always count on you. Best for $1.25. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. But what I want, since this is actually saved and later before I go, I wanted to let you guys know that I always brag about Peter Anthony and his Friday the 13th fan films. He did he gave a prize away the other day where in the movie there is a crossword puzzle. And I'm not expecting you to see it, but I just wanted you to see. He printed out a copy of it online or put it online, posted it. I printed it out. And then I went through and it's like 11 questions. And if you won, if you got all the answers first and posted it, you won a prize, and I won. And it was kind of cool. It was a custom pop of his character, which his name was General Brack Bauer from the Roseblood movie. And somebody made this custom pop case for it as well. So I'm going to show this is obviously isn't high quality. I'm going to show this in a video, but yeah, support films any way you can, especially some of these fan films that are out there are actually better quality than regular movies. And then anybody else watching this later, I wanted to give a shout out to Cinema Sickness. He had some movies that were pretty cheap recently, and I bought these for your consideration sets of Black Mirror from him. He shipped them out pretty quick too. So one of them is actually a full season, and one is just like a best of set. So I wanted to give him a shout out. Cinema Sickness, he's a physical media hunter. He's one of the first ones I watched to do it. He posts a video every day and has been doing it for like 8 or 10 years. So I know I'm nowhere near his level, but support him if you can. And then you guys keep coming back and supporting me. So I appreciate Royce and Doug and you guys sliding on here tonight. Hopefully, as I get more buzz on the channel, do these Hallow Screams. I'm going to do some more interviews. I'm trying to set up an interview with this actress that was in that movie. As the channel grows, hopefully it'll be more of us coming on here chatting. So anybody that participates in these live streams, whether it's one person or we eventually, hopefully we get a lot in here. You guys, I appreciate everything you guys do to support my channel. I'll keep watching it. Like I said in the last one, I'm hoping to do more movie reviews and stuff like that as I go. The people probably don't realize the effort that it takes to do some of these videos. And if you want to edit them and do anything to them other than just straight up throw a title in the front. And I'm a little too OCD to just do that. Can you post the links to the other YouTubers that are doing the Halloween challenge? Yeah, what I'll do is I'm going to create a video that basically is the announcement. This week I'll do it of the Hallow Scream. And in the description of that video, I'll put all the links to their channels so that you guys can help support them too. And like I said, hopefully it'll get more traffic onto my channel. So I really do appreciate you guys coming on here and support me. And Royce, I think you know more damn about movies than I do. So I'm going to have to tell my wife that. She thinks that I just, that's all I do is watch movies and talk about movies. So I think you're right up there with me as far as remembering some of this stuff. As I get older, I can't remember that stuff. So that's why I got you. I want you guys to help me talk about this stuff and remind me of all these good and bad movies going forward. So thank you for the support. So I think I'm going to go ahead probably, and unless you got any other questions. Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. You didn't have to do that, but anytime if you want to support me just with comments or whatever, I really do appreciate it, man. I'm a horror addict. Yeah, I think if you look at what I buy, whether it be Dollar Tree or whatever, horror is what I go in for. And like I said, I probably think it's either 80s or it's horror. I mean, I'm more of a retro guy. I think a lot of the stuff that's coming out now is pretty much straight up trash. So let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, it looks like it. So yeah, I really appreciate you, Royce, for coming back and support me. I remember you, man. You've been in there from the beginning. So like I said, and hopefully I'll be able to edit a video together this week of talking about the worst horror sequels of all time, which is the main topic of this. So if you guys don't have any other questions, like I said, I really appreciate it. And this has been JEFFMAN316, your pop culture reporter. And if you guys don't have anything else, I'm going to go ahead and sign out of here. And until next time, hopefully maybe I'll do another live stream next week. You guys in the comments, let me know if this time worked for you guys. Anybody that dropped on here after, like now or whatever, go back once this post and watch it. And give me your ideas of the worst horror sequels of all time. So, or like I said, I really do appreciate it. And until next time, boys and girls, this is JEFFMAN316, your pop culture reporter, signing out saying you guys be safe out there.
Mr. Mayor, Chief, ladies and gentlemen.